Hello and welcome to the Tennis Podcast live from Wimbledon, presented by Barclays, who are the official banking partner of Wimbledon, and we're very pleased to have them along for the wild Wimbledon ride this year. I'm Catherine Whitaker, alongside me Matt Roberts and David Law. As always, behind the camera is Matthew, who likes to remain anonymous, but we don't like to keep him anonymous. And behind us are the grounds of SW19, looking absolutely perfect, just a couple of days away from the Championships 2026. We love it when the tennis starts, but we secretly love this time the most, don't we, when it's all pristine and perfect and we have the place to ourselves.
Yeah, never feel luckier, really, than in these build-up days to Wimbledon. And, you know, I think the other slams do such an amazing job, obviously, putting on those big opening weeks. But there is still something special about the way the anticipation builds here to the start of the tournament, where it all goes quiet after qualifying at Roehampton, and then it all just arrives on Monday morning. And yeah, we're very lucky getting to witness this build-up as the grounds come to life.
Yeah, it's good to be back, David.
Yeah, I've just gone with Matthew for a little walk around the grounds. We actually forgot a cable, so we went home and got it. But on the way out of the grounds and getting back in good time for the show, we walked past Henman Hill over there, and we had to go around it because there are signs that say keep off the grass. And it is perfection. I mean, it looks like you want to just lie on it and just engulf yourself in the most gorgeous mattress in the world. But no, what is it, 9 o'clock at night here right now? There is nobody else here. There's nobody around. It's just, we've got the place to ourselves. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's incredibly special. And the most special day of the tennis calendar, certainly for Matt Roberts, draw day at Wimbledon. For the uninitiated, Matt, please briefly explain why Wimbledon draw day, of all the magical days in the very, very long tennis calendar, why is today the very best one?
I love draws generally. I love knowing or having an idea of how the tournament's going to unfold in front of us. I think it just, something in my brain chemistry that likes that order and sort of knowing what's ahead of us. And Wimbledon does draw ceremonies better than anyone. They cut to the chase, no faff, 10 a.m. start.
I can't tell you how faff-free this thing
and
is.
It is on time, and it is straight into the names of the women's draw. No faff, no speeches. It just gets on with it. It also is done on the Friday of this week, once the qualifying has finished, so we know the 128 names in each draw, so we don't just have qualifier popping up a lot. And the drama of it, the theatre of it, one by one, pulling out the names from the velvet bag. It's perfection.
I mean,
it
literally
brilliant.
is held in a theatre, isn't it? The main press conference room, they call the media theatre here, and it is, well, there's a reason for that. It feels like a theatre, and it is also beautifully air-conditioned, which I do appreciate.
I arrived in the room and thought I'd make a little bit of chat with the assistant referee who takes out the names from the velvet bag, which Matt got to hold last year. And I said, you've got the best job in the world, the coolest job in the world. And he looked at me as if, what, I'm busy.
It was like you were breaking the fourth wall.
Yes.
It was like, you're not supposed to reach across.
I know.
Here.
And you get to hold the velvet bag and do the ball. It's great. And he's like, yes, let's just hope nothing goes wrong. And nothing went wrong. Nothing went wrong.
No, it was wonderful for drama. We'll get on to that. But there was nothing funny this time. Sometimes things go wrong and it's funny.
I was trying to create funny at that moment, but no, it didn't really land.
Let's talk about the drama, shall we? Because look, there was always going to be drama, no matter where Serena Williams came out in this draw, making her singles comeback here at Wimbledon, where she's a 7-time champion at the age of 44. Totally unexpected as of a few weeks, months, years ago, all the way back to 2022 when she retired from the sport. It was always going to be dramatic whenever her name came out of the draw. But the fact that she came out quite late in this draw, and as Matt's describing, they draw the names one by one. With every name that came out, the tension ramped up. And it took it took almost to the end. She's come out in the bottom half of the draw, which is the same half as the defending champion Iga Swiatek, and that means that she will play Tuesday because the defending champion always opens centre court. Well, the men's champion opens centre court Monday, the women's champion opens centre court Tuesday. So Serena to play on Tuesday against Australian Maya Joint.
And there was such drama because I had not looked at what they call the chip list of what number everyone is. I kind of assumed Serena was 128 because she was the last wild card in, but I wasn't entirely sure. So every time a high number got called out first, as they do, number 123, I thought, oh my God, it's Serena. And it was Saras Rivas Tormo. And I just calmed down again. But this kept happening. I kept thinking, it's going to be Serena, it's going to be Serena. And it just wasn't Serena until it was. And yeah, Maya Joint.
Look, it's not one of the, it's not a Hollywood matchup. It's not Bianca Andreescu or Naomi Osaka or Aryna Sabalenka or Iga Swiatek. There were a lot of names that could have been like, oh my God. And, for a lot of people listening, they won't really know much about Maya Joint other than she was briefly put on the backhand list and swiftly removed from it.
It was this time a year ago, watching her win the Eastbourne final in a dramatic final set tiebreak against Ayala, which tells you about the level of tennis she can play and the quality she has on this surface in particular. I got so swept up by it, I thought, Maya Joint, backhand list. I made an impulsive decision, put her on the list. She was on it for a few months, and start of this year I did bump her off. So
and look, it's
been a tough year for Maya Joint.
It's very difficult to isolate cause and effect, but she's barely won a match since then. Which makes this really, look, it was going to be intriguing whoever it was, right? But Maya Joint, I think psychologically this is particularly fascinating because Maya Joint, look, she's having an awful season. There's no hiding from that. She's lost 13 of her last 14 matches. She's a very young player.
And some of those are below tour level.
Yeah, absolutely. She's dropped down to... She ended up seeded here. She got herself seeded at a slam, I think, off the back of results from about a year ago. It's been a horrible time. But she's a good player with a lot of potential, particularly on the backhand, although Matt's long forgotten that.
No, to be clear, anyone who's ever been on my list has a great backhand and we love them for it.
There are just levels.
There are levels, exactly.
She is famously an introvert, an absolute textbook introvert. She doesn't seek out or enjoy the limelight at all. I remember she came into the Australian Open this year as the top-ranked Australian female player, and she was assigned to the main press conference room, and she walked in and went, oh, whoa. Like, that didn't suit her at all. And I'm sure some of it is just she will get more used to it, but I don't think that's ever going to be her jam. And she's going to come out into the full headlights of a situation, David, on Tuesday.
Yeah, because it's hard to imagine that they wouldn't put that on centre court because it's Serena Williams. I think Serena against anybody in the draw is a centre court match. I think you just have to do that at the moment. I think from Serena's perspective, this is just about the best draw imaginable if you want her comeback to feature a win. That doesn't mean say she's guaranteed to win it, as you say. Maya Joint is a good player. She's a talented ball striker. But in that sort of run of form and with that level of kind of self-belief, you would imagine, and against somebody who she would have grown up regarding as the greatest, because it would have been right in her childhood.
Well, just thinking about that, is it possible that she's so young?
She might have missed the greatest.
Well, yeah.
I think
she'll obviously be conceptually aware of it, but I'm not sure.
I think Serena had won 7 majors before she was born.
Right.
Oh my.
So, but that might help a bit, mightn't it? That I think she is a bit too young to have had Serena posters on her wall.
Yeah,
maybe.
I mean, it's an interesting one. I just don't. I can only imagine when she saw it, she would have gone, wow. And look, hopefully from her perspective, I don't want to see her feel terrible. I hope she comes out and plays kind of the match of her life for her own sake. But if you, like, my hope is that Serena Williams wins a match at this year's Wimbledon. Whatever else happens, but I'd love to see her play well and win a match. I don't want to see Maya Joint humiliated at all. But this is a great draw if you want Serena to be winning a match. And then we'll see. But it gives a chance to play this match. Because there are some players that she could have come out against that if she'd have played an Ostapenko or a Yastremska or somebody just is thrashing the ball, you wouldn't have had any chance to do that. She's going to get a chance to play.
She came to press today, Maya Joint. A lot of the lower ranked players did their pre-tournament media today, some of them tomorrow, and all of the big guns are coming through tomorrow, and we'll have a show after we've spent the day speaking to them all tomorrow evening. 8 p.m, did we say tomorrow night? Yeah, 8 p.m. tomorrow. But Maya Joint came today, and obviously that was a more heavily attended press conference than it would have been before the draw. And she did give one little nugget. I wasn't in this press conference. Charlie Eccleshare from The Athletic was. And he said that Maya Joint had already had a chat with Ajla Tomljanovic, who was Serena Williams' last singles opponent at the US Open in the third round in 2022. And she was the one that handled that moment with, obviously in tennis terms, she handled it brilliantly. She beat Serena, but also she handled the occasion with such elegance and grace, and it was pitch perfect, wasn't it, from Tomljanovic? So she had already spoken to her. Tomljanovic, I think, had proactively been in touch, a fellow Australian, and she had said, all the kind of obvious things about, you can do this, focus on yourself. But she said, remember, she's going to be nervous too. And I think that's really powerful advice. I remember getting that advice from my brother once about something that I was really nervous about. And I remember being in a group and I was like, everyone else seems to be like totally chill about this. And he was like, they're all absolutely bricking it too.
Fresh as week.
Exactly. It was something just like that. It was a year abroad. And I still remember it now and how soothing that felt. And it is true, isn't it? Serena Williams will be nervous.
It doesn't matter how many times you do anything in life. You could be the most experienced person at it in the world. If you don't feel first day nerves, I don't think you are human, really. And especially if it matters to you. That's the other thing. It matters to Serena Williams. She's not doing this for nothing. She's doing this because she really wants to do it and needs to do it inside. I don't think you put yourself at risk otherwise. You don't put yourself out there like this unless you care and are nervous about it.
It might be foolish to look beyond round one for Serena Williams. We are going to do that right now.
Of course.
Because if she gets past Maya Joint, there's a potential round two with Alexandra Ayala, and there's a potential round three with Iga Swiatek. And P.S. that also means there's a potential round three between Alexandra Ayala and Iga Swiatek, which, okay, it's not Hollywood in the way that Serena is, but it is fascinating in its own way. That is an interesting path, obviously, for Serena.
Yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? Like Serena, wherever she landed, it was going to be the focus of the attention. It was going to be dramatic, but actually, she's also landed in a really dramatic section. So it's just added to the drama that would have been there anyway. Look, thinking about those matchups, I always worry about the Ayala serve a little bit, and I do think Serena can be, pretty intimidating on the return there. It was interesting how in her doubles matches she felt like it was the return that actually she was kind of struggling with quite a lot. She would have to have that dialed in if she's going to beat Ayala if they play, because Ayala's such a good mover, and I think there'll be some advantages that she can have against a 44-year-old Serena. It is absolutely tantalising.
Ayala round two, Swiatek round three. Are we going to see Serena Swiatek round three?
That I would be surprised about, personally. Like I said, to me, this is the perfect draw because she gets to play a player that really, if Serena plays decently, on the scale of what we know, and that's question mark, isn't it? We don't even know if she's on that scale anymore because we haven't seen her play a singles match. But if she's anything close to what she was before she left, then I think a decent performance should win this first round match. But I like the fact that she's then got box office matches, both of which an Ayala followed by Swiatek would be. But I would have thought Ayala, at the age she is and the sort of level she is, would be probably too much.
If it is Serena Ayala in round 2, that could be the most viewed tennis match of all time.
It could be extraordinary, couldn't it? Yeah.
I mean, Ayala matches, a bog standard Ayala match is, right up there with some of the most watched tennis matches ever. And obviously you're not comparing like for like because not everybody had the same access to watch tennis, back in, take your pick. But I can't imagine globally a tennis match with more interest on it, given the level of interest in Alexandra Ayala in the Philippines and the surrounding areas. I mean, that could just set the world into a frenzy. But potentially globally a bigger deal than Serena Swiatek.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen the effect of Ayala even on things like YouTube highlights and press conference clips. They get her stuff gets watched by more people, and even if they're not necessarily watching it live, I think that match, if it happens, I think will be seen by so many.
And I do think Ayala is in the category of players that I would back to handle the moment and the occasion, and
I agree,
not be overly intimidated.
No, I think she'd love it.
Yeah,
I think she'd relish the chance. Now, whether it went well is another matter. But I think when she walked out onto the court, she'd be buzzing.
Yeah,
she would. I don't think she'd be overcome with nerves until the match started. I don't know what would happen during the match, but like I said, I would back her at this stage, having not even seen Serena play singles. I may feel differently after she plays my joint.
Do you share David's view, Matt? Serena backing her to win round 1?
Yeah.
Likely to stop there?
Honestly, I feel it's really hard to make Serena predictions before we see her play singles. And I know I've predicted her to win round 1. Maybe that says something about my joint. But if Serena...
That's a Maya joint prediction.
It's a Maya joint prediction, not a Serena prediction.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's possible Serena looks better than I'm expecting her to.
Would you be predicting my joint to lose against anyone?
Possibly.
Yeah, okay.
Certainly
her form is
players.
so bad.
Yeah, oof.
Okay. So I would like to reserve the right to make an Ayala Serena prediction until we've seen Serena play singles.
I will be
Doesn't
asking
seem
you
totally
both
outlandish.
for Serena predictions on every show for as long as she's in the tournament.
Absolutely.
So,
what do you think?
yeah, I mean, as you say, it's a joint prediction, but you can't argue with that form, can you? It is about as bad as a player that gets into the draw can be playing. Yeah, it really is. So I think you have to predict her to lose.
Then he beat Greg.
Beyond that, I don't think I would pick her to beat Ayala at this stage. No, Ayala is a good player. I know that serve is vulnerable, but she's had some good wins on grass this season. Yeah, I think she can move her around. She's got, good lefty angles, hasn't she, Ayala?
Yeah.
Yeah, if I had to do a prediction now, I'd say Serena to win a match, and that would be fun. Not for my joint. Let's continue to talk about this section of the draw, because it is fascinating. But let's sort of zoom out from Serena and look at it maybe from a Swiatek perspective. The defending champion, of course. This is the third quarter of the draw, so the bottom half. Her projected quarterfinal opponents would be either Svitolina, Navarro or Kostyuk, and her semi-final opponents would be Rybakina, Anisimova, Keys or Noskova. She's got Taylor Townsend, though, in round 1, Iga Swiatek. And if you're nervous, coming out 1:30 p.m. on Tuesday, defending Wimbledon champion for the first time, I imagine she is going to be quite nervous. I don't think that's a lot of fun, Taylor Townsend.
No, see, the thing is, Iga Swiatek could win this tournament, right? We know she can. She did it a year ago. And she did that without much form. So she can do it again in theory, but I do think this is about as bad a draw as you can get. When I look at Taylor Townsend being a totally different type of player, followed by the winner of Karolina Pliskova and Teresa Valentova. Two really tough opponents, particularly the way Pliskova strikes a ball on grass. You know, she's been to the final. You know, these are good players on this surface. So, yeah, it's immediately testing on paper at least.
I mean, the Taylor Townsend is not short of self-belief, is she? She's one that will sort of think, great, see this as an opportunity rather than a bad draw, I would have thought.
Yeah, I think so. She's not got a great Wimbledon record. I don't think she's ever been out of the second round here. Whereas, you know, you would think her game could make some sense on this surface, coming in, taking the ball early on the backhand, swinging serves out wide. You know, there's a lot there that makes sense to me, and could be really disruptive as well. Yeah, it feels like Swiatek is immediately thrust into this draw in a very dramatic way with that one, with then potentially Pliskova who can take the racket out of your hand, Serena lurking, Ayala's beaten her before. Like this is tricky for Swiatek right from the start, I think. But in a way that might be helpful. You know, like I do think last year having the lower expectations was great for her at Wimbledon this year. It's hard when you're the defending champion and all the attention's on you walking out on centre court on the Tuesday. That's a tricky experience, I think, but fascinating section.
Ostapenko's in the other half. That's
some good news.
That's maybe all that Iga Swiatek needs to know. In terms of the fourth quarter, the bottom half, so potential semi-final opponents for Iga Swiatek, as I said, Rybakina, Anisimova, Keys and Noskova, the big names down there. Matt, you do not like Amanda Anisimova's draw.
No.
You were making dodgy noises.
Yes, I mean, the moment that Madison Keys came out, Matt's first negative noise of the draw. Sitting next to Matt and trying to gauge what the noises mean is fun.
Yeah.
Tell us why, Matt.
Well, Keys is in form, isn't she? She's into a final as we speak. She can, you know, she can be really bad, Madison Keys. We saw that in her final set of the French Open when she played Schneider. It was just a total unforced error fest. She might have one of those days, but if she doesn't, she's just such a dangerous player, and that's in the third round. That would be, you know, Keys' ranking has dropped, but that's early. That's the third round, and then in the fourth round, Noskova's there, and Anisimova beat Noskova en route to the title here last year. That was a tense match. She almost lost that, Anisimova. I think Noskova's better this year, and it's tough to know what sort of form Anisimova's in. I don't think as good as last year, quite frankly, when she came in having won a load of matches on the grass with that good run at Queen's. And then Rybakina as well in the quarters. I don't know whether I fully trust Rybakina to get there, the one we've seen recently. You know, like McNally is a second round opponent for Rybakina.
She doesn't feel trustworthy at all at the moment, Rybakina, does she?
Siegmund's in there. These feel like players that might be able to disrupt Rybakina a little bit, but if she is in the quarters, she's got through that, she's probably playing a bit better, and like having to go through Keys, Noskova, Rybakina, if the draw holds, just feels really tough with the form Anisimova's been in, to be honest.
Top half of the draw, obviously Sabalenka there, the top seed. Let's talk about her quarter, which I think is the most fun quarter. There's a section in here which is absolutely bananas in the best possible way. Look, it starts off on paper pretty easy for Sabalenka. Teodora Kostovic in round one. Potential round two with Alexandra Oleinikova, the Ukrainian player who has been very outspoken about Russian and Belarusian players being on tour, and in particular calling out Aryna Sabalenka, and doing it frequently and without fear. That could be a very uncomfortable match if it happens.
Yeah, it could. I mean, but that's the way of every tennis tournament really now, that Sabalenka, Oleinikova, various Russian players, you're going to get these situations from time to time. if not more often. And yeah, I mean, second round, I do think McCartney-Kessler may be the favourite against Sabalenka in that match on this surface. But yeah, definitely a chance that they could meet second round, and then that would be, as you say, probably an incident-filled build-up at the very least, certainly in the press conferences. And as you say, the rest of the section that Sabalenka's got there is pretty interesting.
Yeah, there's the potential to face either Ostapenko or Raducanu in round 3. Look, Raducanu is such an injury doubt at the moment. She didn't practice again today. The mood music there sounds really bad to me. So
it's a shame, isn't it?
Such a blow.
It does seem like just a vicious cycle that Emma Raducanu is in at the moment, where she needs to get tour fit, but she can't get enough momentum going because she's not tour fit.
The word was she'd been in a boot, and we haven't had that disproved. So.
No, absolutely. So, I mean, she's got Antonija Ruzic, round 1, talented young Croatian player. Ostapenko has Harriet Dart, which is sort of an indie, one for the indie kids, that match, isn't it? It might not end up being at all consequential, but there will be aggro.
Histrionics.
Yeah. Do you remember Ostapenko Tomljanovic on...
Do I remember
that was on
it?
this court behind us here, wasn't it? Wasn't that on 18?
I think it was on, I want to say 14.
Ah, okay.
Which is behind us.
Yeah. And it was, well, beautifully eggy. And I think this will be the same.
Well, that one ended with a major incident at the end of it, and a big conversation at the net. And then didn't they play each other again? And then it was all very...
It was such a shame.
I hate it when that happens.
They were all very nice to one another.
Yeah. Be eggy. Lean into it. Andreeva, the French Open champion, is the scheduled quarterfinal opponent for Aryna Sabalenka if she gets there. And then it would be likely, according to seedings, Coco Gauff or Jessica Pegula in the semi-finals. How about this section in the top quarter? You've got Naomi Osaka, she's got Elsa Giacomo in round 1. Karolina Mukova's in there. Bianca Andreescu, who qualified yesterday, she's had a kind draw. Zhang Shuai in round 1, good player, but there are tougher draws on paper out there. Alicia Parks is in this section. French Open finalist Maja Chwelinska. Barbora Krejcikova, the former champion here, she's got the young Brit Hannah Klugman in round 1. Nicola Bartonkova is in this section. She has Peyton Stearns in round 1. Matthew, I can hear the rustling of whatever you're eating. And Zheng Qinwen is also in this section. She takes on Katerina Siniakova in round 1. Now he's just talking to us. We are live, Matthew.
Oh, we're so back.
That section, Matt, it's. I almost don't have bandwidth for. I mean, I do. It's glorious, but there's so much to take in there.
There's so much. Like there's what, 4 Czechs, and they always turn up at Wimbledon, right? Mukova, Siniakova, Bartonkova, Krejcikova, all in there, as you say. And look, I think, well, firstly, like Osaka's a potential 4th round opponent for Sabalenka, isn't she? Look, we've seen that match recently a lot. They keep landing in each other's sections. But, by all accounts, Osaka's been playing really well this week. And then the Andreeva section, I think this is a nightmare. If the draw holds for Andreeva, certified tricky Magda Linette in the first round, then probably Krejcikova, and then potentially Bartonkova, and then Mukova. Like it's just an absolute nightmare. Mukova has lost round 1 at Wimbledon 4 times in a row. She's lost her last 5 matches at this tournament.
I don't understand that record.
No.
It's her worst slam. Her best result here is the quarters, but she hasn't got there since 2021. It's just been round 1 defeat since then. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me, because looking at it on paper, she'd probably be my pick to come through that section. I think it's going to be tricky for Andreeva, this turnaround, and I don't think grass is her best surface anyway.
The forehand is tricky on grass, isn't it? It gets a bit exposed.
A bit rushed.
Yeah, a little bit like Coco Gauff. Gauff and Pegula in the second quarter. I mean, calling it the Gauff section is... I'm not sure anybody would feel particularly confident about Coco Gauff reaching the scheduled quarter-final with Jessica Pegula. She has got a decent draw up until round of 16, maybe potentially Belinda Bencic lurking there, and Pegula is as well decent early on. Potential round 3 with Yastremska and potential round 4 with Iva Jovic for Pegula. But
I love this draw for Pegula.
Yeah, I think I'm just feeling good about Pegula, you know.
I have the same feeling about Pegula at this year's Wimbledon as I had about Anisimova at last year's. Like, you look at the draw and you just think, I think she's going to get to the semis at least. And I actually think she might beat Sabalenka in the semis. So there's an early prediction.
She lost
Pegula in the final.
Lost in the first round last year.
I know, that's why it's a bold pick. I thought you'd like it, David.
I do.
Wasn't it on this show last year that Matt saw the Anisimova draw and picked her for
the semis? Yeah, that's it. You just look at it and you just think,
yeah, it
makes a lot of sense. I'm very interested to hear from her tomorrow at Media Day about how this week of prep has been. How
totally different to last year.
She's changed her approach. She's trying to get used to Wimbledon grass as opposed to the German grass.
She won Bad Homburg last year, was it?
Yes.
And then she came straight here. And then
she beat Swiatek in the final in Bad Homburg.
And then she did the press conference, and I've never seen her more upbeat.
Yeah.
I was about to pick her for the title. And then she played Elizabeth
Cocciaretto.
Where's she?
She's she's nowhere near.
She's a potential quarterfinal opponent.
Okay.
She'd have to go some.
I don't think she's losing sleep about that.
No.
Just yet.
Right.
Yeah, I feel good about Pegula. I just don't think she makes the same mistake twice, Pegula. She's so smart.
Yeah, it's the match where she just doesn't really get going and show up. She's got that in her...
The flat match.
In her locker, the flat match, exactly. We've seen a few of them. But, yeah, Pegula.
Just a quick mention of Yulia Putintseva against Tatiana Maria in this section.
Fantastic. That created a noise out of Matt.
Although Tatiana Maria is another one that doesn't have a great Wimbledon record.
That one good run.
Yeah, okay, but then nothing else, really.
Matt full on sniggered when that came out.
It's funny, isn't
like
it?
That.
It is funny. Yeah, it's funny. We do like funny. Anything else funny to pick out from the women's draw, or, not funny but interesting? Anything else of any kind of note?
I think we've covered it well. I do think, just to focus again on Gauff a little bit, I do think Bencic in the fourth round is probably the favourite over Gauff on this surface there.
I'm really interested to see how Naomi Osaka does because of her reaching a final this weekend on grass.
Huge, that really.
This is not something she does. And same thing kind of happened at Roland Garros. She broke new ground, and Elsa Giacomo is an interesting first round. To say
I laughed
the
at that, I
least.
think, as well.
Yeah, you did. But if she could get up and running, Osaka, I want to see the game. I want to see whether she can crack it.
And the one other name I'd pick out is someone who we were talking about a lot going into the French Open. Just a few.
The last name out of the velvet bag? No. Oh, I was going to mention Boisson Rybakina, round one.
For funnies.
For just, I don't know why that's funny, but it is.
Did create amusement around me.
It did, yeah. Sorry, who were you going to mention?
I was going to say Svitolina, because it's interesting how things can just change in your mind so quickly in this sport. I know she retired this week in Bad Homburg, I think that was. So I hope there's not an injury concern there. But, she went into the French Open. We were all talking about her. She'd had that brilliant clay court season. She played well, and she lost to Kostyuk. And she could have a rematch, in the fourth round here. And, she's played well at Wimbledon in the past. I think she's going in under the radar in a way that she wasn't at the French Open.
I don't quite know what to expect from Kostyuk.
No.
On grass here, sort of new Kostyuk. Does that work on grass? I don't know.
No.
There's only one way to find out, folks. Okay, that is it for our chat about the women's draw. We are going to talk about the men's draw in part 2. Just before we do that, though, a very important word from our sponsors, because the Tennis Podcast is produced live from Wimbledon every night of the championships and presented by Barclays, the official banking partner of Wimbledon. And Barclays is proud to partner also with their tennis ambassador, Francis Tiafoe, who we will be talking about in the next part of the show. He is one of the most exciting players to watch here and, frankly, at any Grand Slam. Francis grew up in Maryland, the son of Sierra Leonean immigrants, and first picked up a racket at the JTCC in suburban Washington, D.C., which is a real hub for tennis. With the right support around him, he's gone on to become a Grand Slam semi-finalist, a top 10 player, and a real force on the biggest stages in the game, and somebody that David might be making a wild prediction about in today's show.
Until the draw came out today. No, actually, yes. I think I'm backing him.
You're backing him, David, because for the moments that matter, you need the right partner backing you.
Yes, and that's me.
We didn't even plan that,
Barclays.
folks. Search home.barclays/Wimbledon to find out more. Barclays are the official banking partner of the Championships Wimbledon. Okay, let's talk about the men's draw now. And I feel like even though there is a first round matchup that is begging to be discussed, and Taylor Fritz against Jack Draper, we are coming for you and we will be talking about that. I do feel like we need to talk about Novak Djokovic, because which half of the draw Novak Djokovic comes out in is kind of the default biggest story of any men's Grand Slam draw at the moment, isn't it? And probably will be for as long as Carlos Alcaraz is out and Novak Djokovic is still playing, because, you know, okay, Alexander Zverev is a Grand Slam champion now. He's still never beaten a seeded player, I don't think, here at Wimbledon. There is a good side of this draw and a bad side of this draw, and Djokovic is in the bad side, David.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The others are seeded where they are, so you know where the top two are coming out, but you don't know these days where Djokovic is coming out. And I mean, it is hold your breath stuff, really, right at the start of the men's draw every time as a result of that. And he's come out in the top half. So he would have to get through Sinner in the semi-finals if they both got that far. I mean, look, I think it's a long way to get there as it is. I do think when you look at the draw and see that the third seed is also in his quarter, which is Felix Auger-Aliassime. No, I mean, he's a very good player, Auger-Aliassime.
And he's got a new haircut.
He's got a shaved head, which I'm a big fan of, as we know.
David advocates everybody shaving their heads.
Well, if you mean business, if you're a top seed and you mean business, you shave your head, Carlos Alcaraz style, is my experience.
Definitely
happened that one time.
Yeah,
definitely did happen that one time. It definitely was all about the shaved head and none other of Carlos Alcaraz's attributes.
If Auger-Aliassime goes further than he's ever been before at Wimbledon, then you'll all be saying he's onto something. But even so, I still think if Djokovic faces him in the quarters, he'd fancy it. He would fancy himself.
Yeah.
But it's not an easy draw on paper, at least. I mean, the first round, Wu Yibing, okay, but Stefanos Tsitsipas maybe in round 2. He's not really that comfortable on grass, but he could face...
He's not comfortable anywhere these days, really.
He could face Oliver Tarvet in round 3. I mean,
here we go. Tarvet time.
Round 3. Tarvet against Rinderknecht is...
Just for you, David.
That was a perfect David bit.
That was the first one that I... really got excited.
Who's winning
about.
that?
Serena Williams.
No, hang on a second. Who's winning that?
Tarvet.
You think Tarvet's upsetting Rinderknecht?
Yes. It's just
he beat Zverev here last year, Rinderknecht.
Yeah, that's right.
David's unfazed.
Are we going to see Tarvet against Djokovic in round 3, David?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
I've gone big.
Are we going to see Djokovic against Sinner in the semi-finals?
Yes, I think we will.
And honestly, I think or maybe not the bigger question, but the as big question with Djokovic is not only will he get there, but can he get there efficiently?
Yeah.
I can't shake that press conference after his second round match in Paris, Djokovic. I've already forgotten which French player it was.
Valentin
Royer, where it was extremely hot and he seemed to be winning comfortably, and they ended up dropping what he viewed as a kind of unnecessary, inefficient set, and just got embroiled and played about an hour and a half, an hour and 45 minutes of extra tennis in extreme heat. And okay, he didn't know electric Joel Fonseca was coming for him in the next round, but he knew coming into that press conference afterwards, that's it. I am too old now to be able to afford any kind of superfluous energy expenditure. Yeah. That is where he's at.
The weather is suiting him, though, for this next week, I think.
It's hard to imagine, having just had the week we've had of weather, but it is meant to be a lot cooler next week, which is definitely helpful for Djokovic. I can't
even remember the concept of cool.
And
I'm excited.
Also, I think the surface there suits him as well in terms of not turning matches into slugfests. You know, like I think he can play quicker on the grass, and his serve can do more damage and get 3 points off it. You know, I think it's very much the question. I agree with you. Like, how much has he got in the tank if he gets to Sinner in the semis? You know, because he played Sinner in the semis last year and he had nothing in the tank. He was injured and it was a bit of a dud of a match, really. Yeah. But this time, you know, I definitely think he'd have preferred to have been in the other half. But if he can make his way through to it, he always fancies himself on this surface.
Yeah. And look, he'd sign for Felix Auger-Aliassime in the quarterfinals, wouldn't he?
There is Fonseca's potential fourth round. I think, you know, obviously beat him at the French. He feels less of a threat here on grass. I think it's workable for Djokovic. I do.
I think so too. I think he's going to get there.
I remember how well he played against Fonseca at the French Open.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like he played well.
Yeah.
Like the form is less of a worry to me than it has been at other points in his last couple of years.
So Djokovic in the second quarter, obviously Sinner, the top seed, the defending champion, he's at the top of the draw. He has Miomir Kecmanovic in round one, potential quarterfinal opponent scheduled to be Daniil Medvedev, and obviously Djokovic, the potential semi-final opponent. Other seeds in there in this top quarter are Rafael Hodar, who we're still yet to see on grass. He has never played a professional grass court match. He could be amazing on it.
Yeah.
He doesn't know, we don't know. Casper Ruud is in this section. I think we do know what Casper Ruud is like on grass. He's got Hubert Hurkacz in round one. Enjoy your holiday, Casper. Tommy Paul is in this section, and as is Brandon Nakashima, who obviously had a great run at Queen's, as did Tommy Paul. But having said all of that, it's hard to see threat to Jannik Sinner, is it? I mean, look, regardless of the draw, quite honestly, it was hard to see threat to Jannik Sinner. It does feel like there has to be an unusual event like we had in Paris to feel like he's properly vulnerable.
Yeah, I mean, there's the small unknown of he hasn't played in a while and he hasn't played a grass court match this season. You know, I remember Alcaraz as well talking last year about how nervous he felt as the defending champion walking back out, and he almost lost to Fabio Fognini. Like, I think Sinner will handle that well, but it's an element there. It's something he's not experienced before. I heard Djokovic and Sinner were practicing on centre court, I think, the other day, and Laura Robson was interviewing them, and Djokovic was saying that is a totally unique experience, and it's tough to prepare for it. My only advice is to try and enjoy it because it is special. So there's that, but I really like this draw for Sinner, and I think it's definitely possible that he just clicks into gear very quickly and the men's draw has quite a different feel to it. And suddenly it's like, oh, well, this is the guy that swept everything from, you know, March through to that match at the French Open. I think that's very likely that he can do that with this draw.
Yeah.
Certainly until, Medvedev's beaten him here before, and Medvedev, his highs are still very high. But
Medvedev's got Marin Cilic in round one, Matt.
I think Medvedev could totally lose that.
Yeah.
I think Paul as well, could probably beat Medvedev along the way. So it feels foolish to be thinking about Medvedev Sinner at this stage.
Cilic, Medvedev, David?
Yeah, I don't know how fit Cilic is. I mean, he is late 30s now. It's not getting any easier, but he's also from time to time producing some really good tennis.
It's like Pliskova, isn't he? Just pops up.
Yeah, and when you see him play, you think, he doesn't look like he's lost much. He still hits such a beautiful ball. He moves well. He is good on this surface. I think I might even go Cilic in that one.
Medvedev's slam record recently,
it's terrible.
Not good at all.
Yeah. Okay, the bottom half, obviously Alexander Zverev, the second seed, so he's at the bottom of the draw. Look, it's a comfy draw, early rounds, but the problem for him is Taylor Fritz has come out in his section, and that's kind of his nightmare, really. Like, he knew he wasn't going to be in Jannik Sinner's section because he's the second seed and Sinner's the top seed. I'd say his biggest other threat might even be Taylor Fritz. I suppose you have to say Djokovic, but Taylor Fritz is close to as big a problem. I would say a very Alexander Zverev specific problem.
Yes, it's just that Fritz's draw, when we saw that come out initially, you thought, Fritz Zverev, that's happening. And then Fritz's draw started to fill up with names that you thought, oh my word, that's not easy. Including starting against Jack Draper. Now, what we saw from Jack Draper today in Eastbourne was cause for concern, I think, about Draper's health and his ability to hit the forehand properly. We'll wait and see on that. But the fact that Tiafoe and Bublik are in a section that the winner of that would likely end up playing Fritz, for instance, before the winner gets to Zverev. There's no guarantees there, I think. But if Fritz does play Zverev, that's mentally a tough one for Zverev, isn't it? Given he's lost 7 in a row to him.
Even despite the tough draw, I feel good about Fritz. I feel really good about Fritz. I maybe feel the same way about him as I do about Pegula in the women's draw. Maybe not quite as confident, but I don't know. I think
it was massive for him, wasn't it, last week?
Yeah,
getting the wins over Shelton and Zverev.
Yeah, I think so.
But Tiafoe then beat him pretty handily.
True.
Yep.
Would you, if that match ends up happening round of 16, who would you be backing?
Well,
how much would you factor that result from Haller into things?
I don't think it would be irrelevant. The record until that had been very heavily in Fritz's favour.
Yeah.
He'd won several in a row against him. But this one was one-sided. I do think Fritz looked a bit out of gas after the Shelton and Zverev matches. But Tiafoe looked so confident and assured in what he was doing. That's what I want to see him come out and do. The reason that I'm excited about him is not only the level he's shown, but my memory of him 2 years ago nearly beating Alcaraz. He was close, playing against a good Alcaraz. And that made me then pick him to go and reach the final of the US Open, which he ended up falling just short on. He got to the semis and he lost to Fritz. There's a lot of history between those two. Great mates. But the fact that Tiafoe would likely have to, he's got Terence Atman in the first round. That's not easy, a left-hander on grass. And then chances are he's playing Bublik in round 3, Tiafoe. There's a lot of danger out there. It must be horrible to come into a draw thinking you're playing as well as you could possibly play and think you're going to have a deep run. You could run into one of these guys and it's just, you don't have a lot of say in the match.
I guess look, I agree. I was really taken with Tiafoe last week, but when the chips are really down, when it matters most, I back Fritz.
No, I understand why. He's rock solid, isn't he? And again, he wants to avoid having too much taken out of the tank. I do think he's super fit and he's a great competitor. But
David's been looking at his thirst traps on Instagram. That's what he wants, David. He wants us all to see it and say
I
that.
really know what a thirst trap is.
Just sort of gym
stuff.
selfies. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right,
Yeah.
gotcha.
We'll tell you all about what Morgan Riddle's been saying after the show, if you like.
Okay.
Or
That's
not.
that's his ex.
Or Matt and I will talk about that amongst
Oh, I'm
ourselves.
very interested. Fascinating.
Well, she's been saying stuff about what it was like being with Taylor Fritz.
Good or bad?
Not great, I would
Okay.
say.
All right. By the way, the guy who beat Tommy Paul in the final, Francisco Cerundolo, is in that section with Zverev. Down.
Is he still in our list of players who are a problem for Zverev?
No,
I don't
because
think
Zverev's
so.
beaten him about 4 times in a row. It's more
Yeah.
that Cerundolo has shown grass court form by doing what he did. So that makes him interesting against me.
Yeah.
Just on Draper, quickly, if he's fit, what chance do you give him against Fritz?
I haven't seen him today. I struggle with that sentence, if he's fit. I just don't see how he's fully fit. If he was fully fit and he'd play loads of matches, I'd give him a decent shot against Fritz. He's got a great game. He's a brilliant player. He's got real artillery that can hurt Fritz. But this version of him, I can't see that.
Yeah. And I think Fritz will be ready for a tough first round. He's had a lot of tough first
Yeah.
rounds at Wimbledon in the past. Like I think he's going to play pretty well in that one, Fritz. And Draper's got the turnaround from this week. I think that's so tough for Draper.
Yeah, I think so too. I would back Fritz, I think, regardless of Draper's level of fitness. I think he can make more of a match of it, obviously, if he's okay physically, and I really hope he is. But I just think that is so tough. I think Fritz is just... He's not happy with his year so far, and he's like, this is where I turn it around, and he's such a stubborn so-and-so.
Are you a Fritz guy now?
I think this is what's happening live in front of us.
I don't know, I don't want to identify as that.
Well,
But-
you didn't want to be a Cavalli guy a few months back.
I don't want to put any labels on it.
But it is happening.
Yeah, we do.
I like
Yeah.
his grit, you know?
Do you think Taylor Fritz is going to win Wimbledon?
I think he's got big fangs, and I'm a sucker for fangs.
How many of his early round matches outside of Draper are you going to, be there for?
No. As I said, we're not putting labels on this. Yeah, it's
we'll
not.
see, shall we?
Yeah, that is the key, I think, of whether you are someone's guy or
Right,
not.
and I'm
Yeah.
being very clear about this.
Yeah.
I'm not identifying as a Fritz guy.
Okay.
He just impresses me.
Yep.
Again, to make the Pegula comparison, I feel like I've spent a long time sort of having to internally apologise to them for underestimating them. I feel like I've underestimated them both a lot, and I'm now
Me
sort
too.
of paying them back.
I think the difference for me is that Pegula, to me, has gone up a level, and like I worry about the flat performance from Pegula, and I actually don't really worry about that from Fritz, but I think Pegula can beat the best players in the draw, and I'm not sure Fritz can beat the best players in his draw. Like I wouldn't back him against Djokovic. I wouldn't back him against Sinner.
Yeah, I agree.
I think obviously there's players that can beat Pegula, but I think she's got a great shot in every matchup.
Yeah. I agree with all of that, and that's why I'm not a Fritz guy. I'm not deluded about the guy. I just think he deserves, some respect. The third quarter, so still in the bottom half of the draw here. This is the place to be, isn't it? You're not in Sinner's half, and frankly, there are no big dogs in this section of the draw. It's de Minaur and Ben Shelton. He's the biggest dog here. He is the one that really should be coming through this, I think. You've got Caboli in there. He seems to have been in Florence having a lovely time, barely even noticing that there's been a grass court season happening. Good luck to him.
It's not what you say about Casper Ruud when he does that.
That is touche there, touche. Karen Khachanov is in there. Jakub Menšik, Artur Fils, and Hugo and Bear are in there, but and of course Alex de Minaur as well. That would be a scheduled quarter-final, Shelton de de Minaur, but he's been pretty unconvincing recently. De Minaur, this is Shelton's, right? Should be.
The funny thing is, I look at it and think, yes, I think he and de Minaur should be facing one another. This is a great chance for de Minaur, this half of the draw in this. But he does look so short of his normal self. He looks an imitation of it, really. I'm hoping Wimbledon can ignite the juices in him, really, and get him going, because he hasn't looked right at all recently. But yeah, Shelton's. I felt like this about Tiafoe. I felt like this about several players. Shelton right at the top of the list. They feel that they let one get away from them at Roland Garros. When Sinner had gone out, and this isn't the worst draw in the world either, because they're in the half that isn't Alcaraz. Somebody's going to reach the final here of Wimbledon, and they need to make it them. It's pretty tantalising.
Yeah, I find this bottom half really interesting from that perspective, because you've got the guys who took advantage of Roland Garros in there. You've got Zverev and you've got Caboli, but you've also got the guys who will feel like it was a slam that got away, or a run that got away. De Minaur, Shelton, Fritz, Tiafoe. All these guys are in that bottom half. Even like Fils, I know he can't think in terms of letting Roland Garros get away. He didn't let it get away. He was injured. There must be a part of him that thinks, God, I'd love to have had a go at that Roland Garros draw. There's guys in that bottom draw who are, I think, motivated by what happened at Roland Garros, and which is what makes it so interesting. I would say probably something I did at Roland Garros, and I'm probably doing here again, overlooking Jakub Menšík. He was one of the guys who did really deliver at the French Open. He
revived himself from the dead
multiple
times. Yeah,
he's a potential fourth round opponent of Ben Shelton. Now, I do think actually he looked good on the clay when he had a bit more time on the forehand, and that shot he hit as well as I've seen him hit throughout that tournament. I'm interested to see that on the grass, but there are elements of his game, his willingness to come forward, his big serve, that you feel like could work on this surface as well. So I would definitely flag him in that section where we're maybe expecting de Minaur, Shelton. I do think Menšík's a big part of that conversation.
I was surprised that Artifice is in this draw, David, given what happened in Paris and how severe that seems and how chronic this injury clearly is. He's in the draw. Does that mean he's okay?
I don't know. I mean, speaking to Goran, he's practicing. He seems upbeat, certainly compared to where he was a few weeks back. But I don't. I guess it must be so hard not to play all the time. See it from Draper. When do you come back? When do you rest? When do you sign it off? It's so hard to know, because you've got to come back sometime and you've got to put yourself out there. So I guess that's what he's doing. He's giving himself a chance. I hope he feels okay. I hope he could. Nothing would give me greater pleasure than seeing people like Fils and Draper, these young guys, and eventually Holger Rune, all the ones who just can't play, just see them being able to play properly again.
Fils Collignon, if he's fit, it's a nice first round match. That you've got Wawrinka, Berrettini in this section.
The noise that came out when
that was a noise.
We thought the others were wildly appreciated when they came out, but when Wawrinka and Berrettini came out, the whole room went up.
Grigor Dimitrov's got Dane Sweeney. David, you never know.
You never know.
He'll take that draw though, won't he?
Absolutely.
He just wants a win. I know he got a couple in Mallorca this week, but what he'd give for a Grand Slam win. And you've also got Zizou Bergs against Hugo and Bear in this section, which is the Eastbourne final, which is going to be played tomorrow. So they'll play that Eastbourne final tomorrow, and then they'll come back and play on Tuesday in the first round of Wimbledon. So that's fun. Okay, anything else to highlight or mention? Any other opportunities you want to give me to get hate from Casper Ruud fans?
I don't need to give you the opportunities for that.
It's a bit, guys. It's good luck to you, Casper, but I do think you're going to lose to Hubert Hurkacz in the first round, and I don't think you'll be that bothered. That's fine. Each to their own. Media day tomorrow. Who are we most looking forward to speaking to?
Is Serena Williams coming in?
She's not on the list.
Oh.
I'm hoping she will just rock up.
Yeah.
I mean, she has been doing her post-match interview commitments, as required, but I think technically she's not required.
Because only the top seeded players have to
I mean,
come,
everybody
don't
else
they?
does come in. They don't do everything that's requested of them.
We've now got this latest protest by the players
do you
to
think
factor
Serena's participating in that?
No.
Mind you, she doesn't appear to be coming at all. So maybe
She's taking it a step further. 15 minutes.
This is how you do it, right?
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I definitely want to hear from her. I want to see Novak Djokovic. I just want to see him on the.
He's coming in early tomorrow, which is very rare.
Well,
usually he's
his time is
last
early.
one in on the last day.
His time is early.
Well, yeah.
He won't be in at that time.
No.
I think what I really want is to hear Serena talk about what she knows about my joint. I just think that would be really funny.
Well, she might know more tomorrow than she did today. Or maybe not.
A little bit. She'll know that she's playing her.
Do you think if Maya Joint walked past her, she would be able to say, that's Maya Joint, confidently? She's very easily identifiable, Maya Joint. She's a rare sunglasses wearer on tour. She takes eye health seriously.
I saw Serena's agent go into the broadcast quarters, and I did think at the time, I wonder whether they're just going to go and ask for a bit of footage of Maya Joint. Mind you, you could probably just go on YouTube now, couldn't you?
I think Serena does know about YouTube. She might not know about Maya Joint.
This is what I would have to do, because I don't know where
you'd be requesting VHS tapes.
Yes.
Matt, who are you looking forward to speaking to? Serena Williams, not an option, apparently.
Well, look, you mentioned Djokovic. I do think he's always interesting to speak to, and he hinted, didn't he, at the start of Roland Garros about the injury that he'd had and how it sounded from that pre-tournament press conference like he thought it was going to be a struggle at Roland Garros this year. I've been led astray by Novak Djokovic's press conferences before, this year in fact, in Australia, but if he's punchy and talking up his chances and that kind of thing, that will be interesting to me tomorrow.
Yeah. Lots of people in the live chat pointing out how much headline writer potential there is with Maya Joint being the one to face Serena. Serena wrecks the joint, that sort of thing. Yeah, it's a rich theme.
Excellent.
David loves a pun.
Sometimes. It depends who's delivering them.
So that is all tomorrow, Media Day. I made a list of all the players that we want to speak to or attend their press conferences earlier, and it is long and overwhelming.
That was incredible work, by the way.
Take a deep breath before you look at that list. It's going to be a heck of a day. We will be back at the end of it at 8 p.m. tomorrow, live on YouTube if you want to join us live, up as a podcast as well soon after, to talk about everything that we've learned in Media Day. Find out whether Serena Williams did come in and talk to us. And then we'll be back on Sunday as well with our final Wimbledon preview show at 7:30 p.m. UK time. And then from Monday, we are live at the close of play, not before 9 p.m. So keep across our socials, our YouTube channel and our newsletter if you want to be able to join those shows live, and do hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube. Just final thing I wanted to say before we wrap tonight, the Media Theatre where all those big press conferences will be taking place tomorrow. We were in there earlier for what turned out to be a pretty incredible experience. We were invited to a screening of the Chris Evert and Martina Navratilova documentary, which is already out and available to watch on Netflix. Martina Navratilova was there. Chris Evert had been supposed to be there, but obviously we had the news just in the last 24 or so hours that her ovarian cancer has recurred and she's not able to travel to Wimbledon. She's back at home and she's having treatment once again for cancer, which makes this documentary all the more moving. And it was already incredibly poignant. I mean, what a piece of storytelling, and the opportunity to get to watch that in the room with Martina, who was overcome with emotion before the screening, obviously because of what's going on with Chrissy, and she said she had wanted to cancel the screening, but Chrissy had encouraged her to go ahead with it. We were with Pam Shriver, Martina's longtime doubles partner, who features in the documentary and has some absolutely incredible lines in there, a bit of light relief in what is, well, just an incredibly beautiful and moving piece of storytelling.
Yeah, I don't think they could have done a better job, really, in terms of interweaving the story of their lives and careers as rivals and upcoming young players, and the struggles that Martina had defecting, and just the totally different portrayals of themselves, to then both going through cancer treatment at the same time and being each other's support. And it was beautiful. It was heartbreaking to watch it, and all the more so because we now know that Chrissy's going through it again for a third time. And when we first got notification that this screening was going to take place and we got invited to it, it was billed as an opportunity to watch it in the company of Chris Everton, Martina Navratilova, and then for them to do a Q&A afterwards. And of course, Chrissy isn't able to be here, and Martina could only say a few words before she broke down. She just couldn't, and we totally understand that. But it was both a wonderful watch and a tough watch. But I do encourage you to watch it.
Yeah, it's incredible. There's incredible footage from the archive, but also just incredible moments of vulnerability from both Chrissy and Martina as they're going through their treatment. And yeah, it's a story of how, you know, whether it be through rivalry on a court or friendship in hard times, like, you know, kind of the story you can tell together is kind of bigger than the story you can tell on your own. It's incredibly powerful and moving in that way. And yeah, amazing contributions from talking heads like Pam, and also Mary Carrillo, Billie Jean King. It's really well put together, and yeah, thinking of Chrissy.
Some people in the chat saying we should call our bear Chrissy.
Oh.
We are taking suggestions for what to call the bear. We love the bear. So we have loved all of our little cuddly toy mascots.
I love his cap so much.
Last year we had Jam Shriver, the strawberry, irreplaceable Jam Shriver, but we do love this bear and his little cap, or her little cap. So
their little cap.
Their little cap. So yeah, we were gonna name the bear after an England footballer, because obviously the World Cup's going on. We had Jude a couple of years ago. It's all up for grabs.
We had
is what I'm
Ted
saying.
Perry.
Yeah,
as a
Vicky and Hannah
suggestion.
came up with
Yeah,
Ted Perry,
do
which
like
I
Ted
did
Perry.
enjoy
Very
a lot.
good.
Yeah. So anyway, submissions are open, folks. We will adjudicate
On Sunday?
On Sunday? Okay, there we go. So back tomorrow at 8 p.m, back on Sunday at 7:30 p.m. It is the time of the night where we say a huge hello to Phoebe, our real mascot for this Wimbledon. Hello, Phoebe. Join me in saying a big hello to Phoebe.
Hi,
I'm looking
Phoebe.
at Phoebe. Phoebe's looking at me in the agenda. We like Phoebe.
Tell me about Phoebe, Matt.
Well, we've known Phoebe for a long time. This is Phoebe's 6th consecutive year being a tennis podcast mascot in
It's a good
some
record, isn't
shape
it?
or form.
Consistent, that, isn't it?
It's like Chris Evert's record of winning a Grand Slam, at least one Grand Slam a season for 13 consecutive seasons. Wow. You're on your way, Phoebe. Yeah, we love Phoebe. She has been napping while her humans watch all the sports, Wimbledon and the World Cup. So, yeah, Priyanka says, what an exciting time for me, and the best of snooze soundtracks for her. Looking forward to a great tournament. I hope everyone keeps cool out there. Unfortunately, Priyanka, that is impossible at the moment, but we are doing our very best, and pictures of cute dogs definitely help. Thank you, Mum, for sending lots of pictures of Billie Jean in the paddling pool. Much appreciated. Hello to our mascots. Hello to Maisie, Roger, and I'm missing one. Bodhi. Thank you.
It's late.
Well, actually, what's happened is the picture of I've copied and pasted the picture of Phoebe over some of the text. So I've just got an enormous picture of another dog obscuring my mascot Bodhi. Please forgive me, Bodhi. And I'm now getting distracted again by looking at this glorious picture of Phoebe. Phoebe, Bodhi, Maisie and Roger, hello and thank you to you. Hello to our executive producers, Greg, Chris and Jeff. Matt, let's have some shout outs, unless they are obscured by pictures of animals.
See, we normally edit that out, but here we are, pressing on.
The beauty of life. Oh.
We have 2 shout outs tonight. We have Fee McGregor from Edinburgh.
Hi, Fee.
Hello, Fee.
Fee says, I started listening in 2016 when living in Hong Kong, where TV coverage of tennis was very limited. So the podcast was a great way of keeping up to date.
10 years.
Fee is now back in Edinburgh.
That's like Judy Murray, who we spoke to today, and she said, I don't follow tennis much, but I do listen to your podcast.
I've been thinking about that for
Me
a while.
too, which is
Hello, Judy. Does she make it to the shout-outs?
She made it through the Dan Evans interview, apparently.
Fee, tennis. We got Fiona Ferro. I feel like we always
Yeah.
land on Fiona Ferro. Can't think of any Fees. All I can think of is Fee Glover, the British
Excellent
broadcaster with
broadcaster.
absolutely no connections to tennis whatsoever.
Worked for the BBC radio team, of which I work for.
There we
Very
go.
good.
She wasn't at Wimbledon,
There we go.
so
No,
I'm
but
better.
we'll take it. Thank you, Fee.
And finally, we have Ingrid Holmberg from Victoria, British Columbia,
Oh.
Canada.
Hi, Ingrid.
Hello, Ingrid. Canada through to the knockouts of the World Cup.
Yep.
Yeah,
Although they did lose their last match. and
they
weren't
did,
very
but
happy
everyone's
about
through to the knockouts in this
Yeah.
new format, aren't they? They're letting anyone in.
that. They were supposed to play in Canada, though, if they won.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
that's a bit of a blow.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do we know about Ingrid?
Ingrid says the crazy French Open just ended. Through all of the drama and pain, the tennis podcast was essential listening. Thank you very much, Ingrid. I was travelling through the first weekend and relying on hotel TV for entirely random and limited selections of tennis matches. So,
That's relatable.
yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully you can watch more of Wimbledon, Ingrid.
Tennis Ingrids. I think Ingrid's a really cool name. Ingrid Benzer.
Benzer.
Very good, Matt.
Well
Ingrid
done,
Benzer.
Matt.
Yeah, I got nervous halfway through. I should
Yeah.
have committed to it.
Ingrid Benzer, who was one of the founding members of the WTA in 1973.
Correct.
Very good, Matt. Thank you very much. Thank you, Fee. Thank you, Ingrid. Thank you generally to Bodhi. Just gonna.
keep saying it. You might
I mean,
make up
it's
for it.
Bodhi, Taylor Fritz, and Jessica Pegula that I just sort of owe generalised apologies to.
Casper Ruud's
now.
going to come up in a minute.
Thank you all for listening. Thank you for joining us live tonight. If you did, I cannot tell you how much we love doing these shows from this spot. It is a joy and an honour, and we cannot wait to do 16 more of them. With bug spray, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
16 more with bug spray. We're learning, we're growing, we're very happy to be here. We're part of the Athletic Podcast Network. Thank you for joining us tonight, and we'll speak to you tomorrow.